I truly believe that new music is going to make older music more valuable and more popular than it could be right now. I think that there's going to be a backlash, and I'm starting to see it. I'm feeling it myself with regards to things that are appearing on Spotify now, like fake bands, AI generated music, AI generated photos of a band. I think all of these things are going to add up to an incredible backlash that the music industry is going to be faced with soon, in that people aren't going to trust anything they hear. It's already bad enough that they don't trust anything they see, hear, even if it's done live in front of them. People are skeptical that the artist is lip syncing or if that the entire band is a track. Now you're going to get to the point where we're getting there, that there is so much AI paranoia that you're not going to believe anything you see or hear. So the only thing that you'll gravitate towards will be, or that you'll trust, is something that's older, that you know already existed before any of this stuff contaminated everything. Are there going to be successful AI artists? Probably. There's going to be successful AI generated photos, videos, animation, I guess. I don't know how that's going down in the animation world, but I imagine that you can prompt something that generates that. If you could do it with video and just say, okay, put this guy's face on this video, I'm sure that you can do it in a cartoon or in an animated movie type scenario. I just saw an interview with someone who's very successful in the music business as an artist, producer, and songwriter. Highly successful in all three of those. He was talking to another songwriter, and the guy happened to ask him about a particular artist. What makes this artist so great? It's very young. He was reaching for the politically correct answer to use, because he obviously still wants to keep working with her. His answer was, and this is a singer, she's an incredible dancer. That was his answer to what makes this artist a great artist. He eventually got around to remembering, like, oh yeah, she's a singer. And he was like, and she could really, she really worked on her singing and her vocals. She's just an incredible hard worker. She's a pop artist and a social media star and a dancer. Let's face it, she's a dancer. Kind of reminds you of like J-Lo. J-Lo was a dancer. She still can't sing. Never could sing. Everybody knows it. But they will say she's an incredible dancer. She's the hardest worker in the world. But listening to this artist's music, because I had never really listened to her before, I went to the catalog on Tidal, because I recently dumped Spotify Premium because I'm getting to that anti-AI thing. So I listened to a few songs of this artist. It might as well be AI, because it's so heavily processed and so digitally manipulated in every shape and form, from the vocal being processed to the smithereens with tuning. And I know it was quantized. I know it was placed word by word in the song. I can hear it. The music was utterly generic and programmable, and definitely is going to be easily generated. It's one thing when someone messes around with AI and does like a couple of prompts and goes like, make me a hip hop track that sounds like Jay Dilla meets Timbaland with, Drake rapping over it with this vocal. And it's one thing when you play around with it and you just do it for laughs or you do it just for the heck of it. But think about the person that's doing it for 10 hours that day, over and over and over again, and maybe even using something else to generate the prompts and refining and refining, and then maybe just going, give me just the drums and plop those into a DAW, and like, just give me the vocal, put those into a DAW, and then start manipulating that kind of stuff. I think you could kind of, if you use your imagination beyond the just playing around with it kind of thing, you can see where this is heading. Just like if you do any photography and you mess around with Photoshop or Lightroom, you could do a little bit, or you could do 3 hours of edits on a photograph and completely come up with something that is undetectable in a lot of ways to being fake, but also unrecognizable from the original photograph. And now with generative AI involved with photos, it's the same thing. Videos, same thing. Nothing you see is real, and nothing you hear is real, is going to be the paranoia and the skepticism. Now, for a lot of people, it's going to mean something. They're not going to want to feel duped, especially when they make the mistake of like going to their friends and saying like, you got to hear this new band that I love. Check it out. And like dial it up, and like they get laughed at. Dude, don't you know? That's fake. That's all it's going to take for a lot of, and some people will be like, well, I don't care if it's fake. I love it. But a lot of people are going to be like, are you effing kidding me? I got duped. I'm an idiot. And now my friends who maybe used to think I had good taste in music are laughing at me. These are the things that, on a ramble, that I'm thinking about everywhere, all over the place. I don't believe anything that I'm hearing now particularly on pop music charts. Hip hop charts, same thing. It's all getting to an ugly place. I watched a stream this morning where guys were talking about, type beats are having an issue. Well, the problem is the type beats have all been stolen and pirated and stolen and sold to different people that think they're buying something that's original, but meanwhile, that beat came from Kazakhstan. Do you think that beat isn't in 50 other YouTube channels that you haven't happened to come across? The numbers game is some crazy stuff. And there are ruthless con artists out there who are scraping the internet for beats and then repackaging them and putting them on their own YouTube site, getting the $25, non-exclusive, and vanishing when the artist, if it ever blew up, the artist would come looking for him, and then there would just be an entire scene. But these things are all coming from stolen sites. They're coming from direct rips from Splice. If you play your music on the internet, there's a good chance that someone's going to jack it and upload it somewhere where, like, they're selling the beat in Europe. And if you don't come across it, you'll never know. You also never get the money, and the artist will never get the money, because sooner or later it will come to a head where somebody will have content ID'd that thing. And then the fun begins with the attorneys. If it gets that far, if people even, if you're chasing after $100, it's not really going to go anywhere. Good luck with the type beats.